About the J6 people too, though, right? That's what they're going to say on the other side. That is weaponized also.
I'm not referring to that. I'm talking about the New York trial, and now the Democrats on our side there were some that were gleeful, calling it like now he's a convicted felon and those things, and now for our party we were talking about criminal justice, and we are now talking about second chances, and now all of a sudden now you're like, well, he's a convicted felon and all these things. And now clearly, again, both of those trials, the Hunter Biden one and the trial in New York for Trump, that was politically motivated, and those kinds of charges would have never been brought unless one side could realize that they could weaponize.
John Fetterman, the outspoken Democratic senator from Pennsylvania, is making headlines once more. However, politics isn't the primary focus this time. Known for his steadfast beliefs in justice and equality, Fetterman is currently embroiled in a legal dispute that is generating news coverage in both political circles and on daytime television. The twist is that Fetterman is suing both host Sunny Hostin and the producers of The View. You read properly, yes. This isn't your typical idle gossip or celebrity feud. The internet is already going crazy about this high-stakes legal drama. What specifically sparked this attention-grabbing conflict, then? Why is this rivalry influencing politicians, the media, and public opinion all at once? We're analyzing everything because there's more to this than just two groups battling it out. This narrative is more complex than it first appears. Fetterman has long been a topic of public curiosity. Over the years, he has built a reputation for standing up to injustice, challenging authority, and being true to his beliefs. He has made a name for himself as an advocate for doing the right thing, whether that means combating systemic injustice or standing up for the weak.
And people do have sympathy for that, but a lot of people are angry with him about it. What do you say?
Well, I think it's undeniable that the case against Hunter Biden was really politically motivated, but I also think it's true that the trial in New York for Trump that was political as well too. Now it's that, and in both cases, I think a pardon is appropriate, and I really think collectively, America's confidence in these kinds of institutions have been damaged by these kinds of cases, and we cannot allow these kinds of institutions to be weaponized against our political opponents. And it's very clear both trials were politically motivated and weaponized that on the other.
Whatever the controversy, Fetterman's fight for justice is now being seen by a new audience, daytime television. Put on your seatbelt because you won't want to miss this courtroom drama. When a senator like John Fetterman feels unfairly slandered or misrepresented, it's not just a personal grievance, it's about a broader conversation about media ethics and responsibilities. That's exactly why Fetterman decided to sue, but why should any one of us care? Even though it's a fierce legal battle, what does it mean for the rest of us who are observing from the sidelines? In actuality, this isn't just another celebrity feud. It draws attention to issues that we all deal with in this era of never-ending news cycles, social media soundbites, and criticism that goes viral. It raises the question of where free expression starts and defamation ends. With millions of people watching a show like The View, their opinions matter a lot, and the responsibility of carrying it out correctly rests on that authority. There is more to Fetterman's case than just getting his name cleared. The goal is to establish a precedent. Media outlets find it difficult to accept the responsibility for their influence. Known for his bold political moves, Fetterman is using the same tenacity to tackle a critical issue: the ethics of media and the integrity of public discourse. Not just him, but everyone listening should take note of this. Fetterman's stance is unmistakable. Having a platform does not grant you the freedom to speak whatever you want without facing consequences. Millions of people watch The View and listen intently to the hosts, let's face it. When those comments turn into disparaging remarks or untrue claims, it's not something that can be ignored or disregarded. Fetterman is criticizing the show's producers for what he sees as their failure to ensure that the comments that were aired were proper and fair. He sees this as more than just getting his name cleaned. It's about sending a message. Media outlets need to be aware of the actual importance of their statements. It's a fight for responsibility in a culture where one comment can quickly change public perception. Next up is Sunny Hostin. Hosting controversy is nothing new. Her bold, unapologetic opinions are a major factor in why she has such a unique voice on The View. But this time, that candor might have gone too far. Was her remark a pure opinion, or did it go too far in the direction of defamation? That will be decided by the courts. The more crucial question here is whether or not well-known people with sizable fan bases should be allowed to speak without considering the consequences of their words. Fetterman's case extends beyond a single comment or TV show. It's about holding the media accountable in a time when misinformation spreads faster than ever. He is raising concerns about how the media shapes public opinion and what happens when those opinions are founded on inaccurate or harmful information. In the present world, where anything can go viral in a matter of seconds, the stakes for responsible journalism are quite high. Every word matters because millions of people are watching and listening. Take a step back and think about what's really happening here. This case highlights the ongoing conflict between free expression and defamation.
Netflix documentary series about New York Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers. He said he's heartbroken about friends and family cutting him off for his controversial political views and conspiracy theories. And a lot of Americans can relate to this, especially after this last election. So, do you think it happens everywhere?
What I recall about him is when he was asked about the COVID-19 pandemic, during the height of the pandemic, when people had lost loved ones, when people's family members were missing from their Thanksgiving table, like my table, he said, "I'm immunized." And as it turns out, he was not. He had done his own research. He has his Google MD like I do. And I think he said he was allergic to something in the vaccine, but he had COVID and he was in a huddle with his teammates. And I think people felt like, wow, you don't care. You're not your brother's keeper.
This could really, this could really turn me against
a morality.
Are you telling me that?
Now,
We all recognize the right to free expression on the one hand. It is a cornerstone of democracy. However, there is a legitimate need to protect people from the harm that might be caused by malevolent or false statements. This fine balance is shown by Fetterman's legal action. The outcome of this case could set a precedent for resolving disputes in the future involving prominent figures, media outlets, and the boundaries of free speech. It's a watershed moment that could change the rules of engagement in our media-driven culture. In a world where information spreads quickly, it is more important than ever to stop and think about the real impact that words may have, especially when those words reach millions of people. So, where do you stand? Did The View go too far this time, or is feeling overstating the situation? Should Fetterman be taking a stand, or is he trying to regain control of his public persona? It's a fascinating investigation that looks at pressing issues like defamation laws, media ethics, and the connection between politics and public discourse. These are not just theoretical debates. They affect how we take in and comprehend information on a daily basis. The hostility between Fetterman and The View is undoubtedly just one facet of this situation. It is highlighting both the undeniable power of media outlets to shape public opinion and the immense responsibility they have. As the lawsuit progresses, we will all hear a lot more about this subject. Whether in courtrooms, newsrooms, or social media comment sections, the stakes are quite high. Legal experts are already examining the case and forecasting how it might change how the public is covered in the media in the future. The rest of us, on the other hand, are eagerly watching every development, wondering if Fetterman's case will yield a historic victory or if it will simply become another media controversy that is forgotten by next week. Without a question, this lawsuit is about more than just a talk show and one man. And it has to do with the thin line separating freedom of expression, accountability, and the media's powerful sway over public opinion. As we watch politics, the media, and the law come together, one question remains. Which side are you on? Is Fetterman's legal action warranted, or is it all for nothing? Whatever your stance, there's no doubt that this tale will spark conversations for weeks to come. If you enjoyed this analysis, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you can stay up to date on this fascinating legal dispute.